Welcome back to the Adaptive Athlete Podcast, the place for conversations with adaptive athletes in the CrossFit space and beyond. I'm your host, Matt Hotho. On today's episode, I'm talking with Lance King. Lance competes in the ID without CC division. That's short for intellectual disability without chromosomal condition. The division typically contains athletes with autism and other similar diagnoses. And Lance has claimed first place in that division for the past 3 years. And he's never finished lower when he's competed than top of the podium. But this episode isn't just about the medals piling up in the corner of Lance's house. I also got to sit down with his older brother Kyle, who coaches Lance, handles Lance on the floor, and judges Lance in his online competitions, and who's been alongside him through cross country, football, wrestling, MMA, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Olympic weightlifting, and powerlifting. Lance is an athlete. We talk about what it actually looks like to coach an autistic athlete, the trust, the strategy, the no reps, and what Kyle says is the most important thing any family member or friend can do to support someone like Lance. So here's my conversation with Lance and Kyle King. Welcome back to another episode of the Adaptive Athlete Podcast. I'm here today with Lance King. Lance, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, my guy. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I was just telling you guys I was watching a little bit of NASCAR before coming on this podcast. It's not even NASCAR season yet, but I was watching a rerun. That's how crazy life is sometimes. And we've also got Kyle joining us, Kyle King. Welcome to the podcast, Kyle.
All right. Thank you for having us on. Appreciate it.
Of course. So, Lance, to start with you, you did a little bit of training today. Kyle was telling me. What are you working on right now?
Work on some upper body strength, so like the split jerk.
Yeah.
Some things to work on with my split jerk, just having a good stability of the split.
Okay. Yeah. So you can lift more and be stronger in that position?
Yep.
Were you doing those from the rig, stepping into the rig and doing your splits from there?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Did you do anything else today? Some cardio or maybe some wall balls?
No, not really. Just some barbell work.
Okay, wonderful. Kyle, you I've seen in some videos you coach Lance, you encourage Lance, you train Lance. What's your guys' relationship like?
It is a lot of give and take because even though it's like people may not actually like see the video or they've seen us in person, that it's like we're actually brothers. So there's a little bit about it that is a little bit of give and take when it also comes to the aspect of being serious in coaching and then also being able to joke around, have a very good time. When we're in the gym, at least, there is a very good amount of like 80% or so serious, and then like 20% where it's like you might actually see us in our like gym out on like our blue turf and we're like ready to basically start wrestling with each other. And that is like before and after working out. So things were pretty good today. It was a big strength day for us today as part of our barbell club. So That's where a lot of that split jerk work was coming from today.
Okay. And do you write Lance's programming, Kyle?
Normally I will only add in additional training, normally like that 2 to 3 month window leading up to the games, where normally we get into like 2-a-days.
Yeah.
Or else otherwise Lance is normally just doing our affiliates programming. Okay.
Lance, when you're doing the affiliate programming, do you have movements that you like, movements that you don't like?
Yes, there are some things like, what Kyle was saying, like when leading up to games of like affiliates, like sometimes I'll come up with my own workout on the weekends and so on.
Okay. Are you the older brother or the younger brother?
I am the younger brother.
Okay. Nice. How does it feel being the stronger younger brother?
It does feel good. It feels good.
I'm going to interject and say that he is not the stronger brother, but he is the younger one.
Fair, fair. Maybe the more decorated of the brothers. Or do you have medals as well, Kyle?
No, that is for sure.
Okay.
I think like the corner of his foundation of his house is probably ready to fall over
From the amount of
with the
medals.
amount of decorations he has as far as medal count. So
Yeah.
he's got me beat there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Kyle, I know that a lot of this is possible because of the love and the care that you show Lance as well, in kind of helping him succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. And it has been a big part of the community over the last few years since we've been able to actually participate as a part of like an adaptive sport, having CrossFit like open up that avenue for Lance versus the countless number of years where it's like, we'd both do the open before, speaking as the opens coming up, where we've been able to actually test and let him compete on a level playing field as compared with like the rest of life, basically.
Yeah. Lance, so you are an adaptive athlete. What makes you an adaptive athlete?
Just, diagnosed with, autism. If you're talking about the division that I compete in, I compete at the intellectual division without chromosome component.
Okay. So so your division is for people with autism, other like Asperger's sort of disabilities like that.
Yes.
Okay. Or adaptations like that. I understand. Okay. Do you compete in other sports or other competitions? Your brother was saying you have a lot of medals. What other sports have you competed in?
Well, I do compete in the Special Olympics. Just softball and powerlifting.
Powerlifting? Whoa. Okay. Okay. So the strength stuff, you like that. So Special Olympics powerlifting, is it still back squat, deadlift, and bench?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. How does that go for you?
Good. It's good.
Good. What's your back squat?
Free 90.
390?
Yep.
That's amazing, Lance. That's amazing. And then you said you do softball as well?
Yes.
Okay. What position?
First base.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. What other sports did you do before that?
I did. Oh, that's a lot. From high school, I did cross country, football, wrestling, and baseball, and then after that, I did some MMA stuff.
Oh, wow.
MMA wasn't working out. I then was doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And then, so I won medals in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I pretty much in like 2017 of like summer, spell summer, I like tore my ACL in a tournament. So had to get surgery from that. Wasn't easy decision. I decided to retire from that. And then my brother got me into Olympic weightlifting, and I've won just bronze medal in Olympic weightlifting. So
wow, that's amazing, Lance. Like just to do all those sports, to succeed, to have a great time. Do you enjoy just competing with other people and seeing what your body can do?
Yes.
Yeah, it seems like it. You seem to have a lot of fun when you're out competing.
Oh yeah, I just love being out there and yeah, I just love it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Kyle, through all of those sports, are you with Lance kind of helping him kind of figure out those sports and succeed in them, train for them?
Yes. Good majority of them. Ever since starting like back in the high school days, it was more so like tagged along in the grade right behind me.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that he did kind of separate in unto himself was cross country when he was actually smaller in comparison with like how he looks on the screen
Yes.
now. And baseball he got into instead of running track with me, and then really did promote his own independence because he really enjoyed wrestling in high school, to then getting into martial arts, which is a great like self-regulator, especially with his attitude, with his autism diagnosis, to then say like, hey, I'll go scope it out. I went to the first couple of classes for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with him, and then I just let him run with it. And then he did that for probably a good 4 or 5 years, and maybe the first like 2 years kind of leading up to his injury, he did that with CrossFit. And, that was like his superpower back then, especially like a decade ago, where it was like, he's strong, he never stops, he's fit. And then post injury, when we made the decision, like maybe we should just stick to the gym stuff, like train for healthy living. And then he's really come a long way when it comes to actually just honing his own skills, because he does display a fantastic like growth and championship mindset.
Yeah.
To actually go and do his work every day, even compared to me. So he does a fantastic job.
Nice. Lance, do you like winning?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And you work hard so that you can win?
I've always always when it comes, I never take I never stop.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you take rest days?
Sundays.
Okay.
Just Sundays.
All right. And then your brother was saying that as you get closer to the games, you're going to go to like 2-a-days?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Kyle, I was watching one of the open videos that Lance submitted, right? Where you're coaching him, where you're not coaching him, you're judging him. And I noticed that you actually called no reps. You call a lot of no reps, but you're also really present about, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, like those were clear no reps, right? Like you're holding the standard, right?
That is correct.
And you're also telling him things like, I've got the clock, I'm keeping an eye on things. How do you judge / coach him in those moments, knowing him as well as you do, to set him up for success?
I would say one of the biggest things, and this is almost for any athlete, able-bodied or not, would be the presence of mind that things will not always go your way. And I can only imagine which video that probably was that you were watching, and I have a pretty good idea. And it's the being able to like count a no rep, but then also for us to be able to communicate. And that comes down to some of our bond as well of just trust me, like you got the right pace, and probably also communicating things like this is what I need to see. Like you need to either go lower in a squat, or I need you to hit a specific spot on a target, or you need to do this. And Lance does a fantastic job of actually taking that information in and then immediately making that correction.
Yeah.
Because there are times otherwise where sometimes people get off the rails, and Lance has a good understanding of knowing there's no point in arguing when something doesn't go your way. And it's like, well, we can just keep moving forward.
Yeah. I like that, Kyle, to keep moving forward. Lance, do you think about that when you're working out? Like just keep moving forward?
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. I don't always like, I never like I get no rep. I like, like, okay, gotta do something better, No, I always just move on to the next one.
Mm-hmm. That's what I noticed. This was so it was the semifinals workout where it was the shuttle runs, wall balls, and then max pull-ups.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there were just moments when he would start a butterfly set and you'd just be like, no rep. And he didn't drop from the bar. He was just like, okay,
Yep.
I'm going to get my chin up higher. And I was just really impressed with that it was like, okay, we're just going to keep moving on both your parts, right? Kyle, you for holding the standard to help Lance be the best athlete he can be. And then Lance to just keep your head down. I mean, well, keep your chin up so you got it over the bar, but
Yeah.
keep your head down and keep moving forward within the workout. That was just really cool to see you two work together.
Well done. See, people do take notice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wheelwad aren't the only people watching those videos.
I'm surprised that people are actually able to find them, because I just feel like for a majority of us, we put these videos up because we have to submit them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't know unless I actually like try to share a link out on a Facebook post or like on Instagram, where it's like, I don't know if you actually go in to YouTube and try to like type in like Lance King open workouts, if it'll actually pop up, or if you're going to get a million and other videos instead. So I'm
Yeah.
actually happy to hear you're able to find those things in the depths of the internet.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of fun, Lance. If I search Lance King CrossFit, there's quite a few things that come up related to your story. So I think what I want you to hear is you're making an impact by being who you are, being the athlete that you are. People who might see themselves in you and want to compete can see that very, very readily if they search. Did you ever think that would happen?
I I never thought it would happen.
Yeah. Kyle, what's one thing that comes up for you when you kind of think about the journey that you guys have been on?
There are many things that I could say would be an absolute like highlight, because Lance's ability to do this work and his commitment to it is probably the one thing that has pushed him to get to do all these amazing things. I mean, within the scope of the adaptive CrossFit games over the last couple of years, being able to do things with Special Olympics. The one thing that always does jump out to me, though, is both Lance and I have gotten messages, like complete strangers on the internet, through like Instagram or a Facebook message, where it comes through a message request. And it's somebody saying like, I have, a son or a daughter with autism, and it's like they're 5, 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for showing me as a parent. Normally these people are talking and saying like, thank you for showing that this is possible. Because there are certain days where it's probably really hard, and our parents can speak to that as well, of what is life going to look like down the road, where Lance is very gifted of having a ton of independence and getting to do this and showing people every day that there is a figurative light at the end of the tunnel, where it's like a semblance of normal life is possible.
Yeah. I feel like there's a way that like for your parents too, they're seeing, oh, all this work we put in as well, right? To raise 2 boys, to raise a family is paying off as well. And that people are getting to see you guys, what you do on the stage of adaptive CrossFit, and realize that, oh man, like it's a long road, but good things happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That was actually one of those things that came from Sarah Perry's mother on the podcast before. It was her mom had actually told our dad, who was in San Antonio 2 years ago, that it said, like, you couldn't have done a better job raising two young men. And it's like, that is the ultimate compliment for like our parents to say, like, all right, we did this thing that was hard, and here are our results that they get to see.
Yeah. There was a workout at the 2025 games where you had to do a bunch of burpees, I believe, and a bunch of sandbags to the shoulder or over the shoulder. Is that correct? It would have been,
Yeah.
It would have been on the last day, I think.
Okay. Yeah. There was one was a wall ball push-ups and single, and is, and that last one you just said with the burpee box.
Let's
Yeah.
see, it was burpee box get overs
Burpee box get over.
and like a sandbag over the shoulder,
Yep.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember I watched you do it, Lance, and you were so just focused. You didn't look like you were hurting at all. If you were keeping it very inside. And you were just moving.
Yeah, to be honest, I did not think, well, going to the last workout, I mean, I was up by a lot. And I could have like let these guys took first, and I decided, well, no, I'm just gonna finish this strong,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was honestly, I didn't think I know there was a tiebreaker time, and I end up beating somebody by like 6 to 8 seconds. But no, I was doing so good, and then like, I don't know if you saw how one of the judges, like the head judge, was going up telling my brother, like, he's got to do this right. There was some miscommunication, but no, I was literally doing a good job of just keeping pace and just not go so hot on the burpees.
Yeah.
On the burpee box.
Yeah. Yeah. Kyle, fill us in on kind of what was happening there with that judge, if you remember.
Yeah. For that last one, they had programmed a burpee box get over, and the difference between so many of the athletes for like our top 10, where I think Lance was like the second tallest athlete at 6'2", going over a 24-inch box. And the competitor actually right next to him, who I think was the shortest in the field, was Noah. And he is like 5 foot maybe.
Okay.
So just that huge difference. So they programmed that burpee box get over, and they had given us a standard about like actually being able to like put your hands on the box to actually get over. We had a conversation, talked about just doing it as like a burpee box jump over. So he actually was jumping onto the box. And then part of what came up with the judges, where he actually got warned and he maybe got a no rep or two in that workout, was then he was actually then jumping off the other end of the box, which then is a safety concern.
Yeah.
You actually need to control your descent off the box versus jumping off the top of it. But kind of one of those things from we've talked about before, where he stayed dialed in, stayed focused. I told him like, okay, we're going to change. We started doing basically what everybody else was, where he was like then jumping with his hands on the box to then just kind of vault over it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it ended up working out just fine then.
Yeah. Are you on the floor with him when he competes, Kyle?
Yes, I am.
Okay. That's great. So he gets a handler.
Yes, he does.
Okay. And I also, Kyle, you might be able to describe this better than I can, but like my rep scheme on that workout was like 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, up. I think your guys' rep scheme was different, right? It was like 6 reps of each a round, and you were just doing rounds or something like that.
Correct. I don't remember the specific number, but it was an AMREP, but it was like 6, 8, or 10, but it was consistent across the board.
And that's common in the ID divisions, correct? To not do complicated rep schemes?
Correct.
Yeah. Do you find, so as the coach / judge / handler, do you find that helps you in communicating with Kyle and in kind of helping you guys both, or communicating with Lance and helping you both succeed?
I would say yes. Okay. It makes it better where there's like one less thing we need to worry about when it comes to how many reps is it on this round. And in the growth of it, I'm hoping they'll actually expand into that a little bit more. There was a different workout, and I think you guys were on the floor either like right before the ID division or right after, so you may not have had the ability to watch. There was one on the main floor with like all the dumbbell movements.
Yeah.
We had actually briefed that workout where we were actually going to walk down the floor, where we had all the boxes taped off, and it was briefed that way. And they had changed it after the brief, but before we went out, where they were like, actually the dumbbell's going to stay in this spot and we'll just move through it, and your judge will tell you what movement you're going to do next. And it was one of those things where I actually bashed heads with the head judge a little bit, where we had a couple of sentences about it in saying, like, we've actually done this before at a different workout, at a different competition where we worked out together. Lance can walk his dumbbell down the floor. And as part of a competition standpoint, it's very nice to actually see that flow, because then you can kind of tell where people are at within the workout. And it ended up working out just fine then.
Yeah. Lance, that dumbbell workout, that was probably the hardest workout of the weekend. Maybe the row was harder, but I think that dumbbell workout was one of the hardest workouts of the weekend. What did you think?
Boy, that's a good, I would say, if honestly, the dumbbell was probably the dumbbell was the hardest, because probably the dumbbell.
It was heavy. It was heavy, right? Like 50?
No, it was 35.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It was 35 it was pretty much 35, pretty much the 35 pounds.
Okay.
I think the only thing it's not, it wasn't heavy. I think the hard part was just when I did the dumbbell thruster.
Staying
where I could
a lot of dumbbell thrusters are hard.
They are hard. They're hard for able-bodied people. They're hard. They're hard. Yeah. Did you find that you were having a hard time balancing yourself, Lance?
Oh, when I did the first, got onto those thrusts, I think I kind of started little wiggle kind of with, I was like, no, I'm just going to do 5 at a time. Yeah. Just do 5 at a time.
That's right. Kyle, were you out there coaching him kind of in those moments of like, okay, we're going to do 5 here, 5 here, that kind of thing?
Yeah. We typically will chat in the warm-up area about like how Lance is actually feeling. And then we'll kind of formulate a plan from that with how he's feeling to say, do we want to break certain things up? Do we want to go unbroken? We also talk about certain things about like the 2 workouts we've been talking about to end the day in the dumbbell one, where we've actually done things about actually saying, hey, position yourself like this on the floor, where we've advanced the dumbbell and we know if you step to the front of this box, do your 10 presses, you can then step forward into your next box, only take 1 step, and then do the other arm, which saves time in that aspect. And then with the over the shoulder with the sandbag on the first rep, telling him, hey, we should turn around, do that first one facing away from the crowd, because when you finish your last one on an even number, when you then step to the side, your box is right there and you don't waste that step going into your first burpee.
Yeah.
And that's one of the bigger things that I think we've picked up on just in our tandem to work on those things to make him better in competition.
Like, you're super strategic, Kyle. And so but you're able to also translate that in a way where he doesn't even know all the strategy necessarily, just more of a, if you execute like this, we'll gain 7 seconds here, so on and so forth. And is that why it was frustrating then when the floor layout changed for that one workout, because you had briefed him on basically a strategy that he could no longer do?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it ended up turning out perfectly fine, but then otherwise, we'll just make the changes and we'll do what we need to do.
Yeah.
And it ended up working out perfectly fine then.
Go ahead, Lance. You look like you have something you want to say.
Yeah, it was, he's always the strategist guy, and, knowing what I'm good at and not good at, there's always the game plan when it comes to him.
Yeah. Can I ask you a non-CrossFit question?
Sure. What's your non-CrossFit question?
All right. You're a Packers fan, right?
Yes. Yes, we're Packer fans.
I love that for you guys. I'm so sorry about last weekend, but now who are you rooting for?
I like to see, who I think is going to go to the Super Bowl for the AFC. I like to see the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see the Bills in the Super Bowl. And then NFC, I just make the best team get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But NFC.
So what games are today? We've got Bills and we've got...
It's Bills against Broncos.
Okay.
And then tonight's game is
49ers.
What remains? Against Seattle.
Yeah.
Seahawks.
Okay. All right. So you're taking the Bills?
Taking the Bills. And for tonight, it's kind of pick 'em. I think if the Niners upset Seattle, I don't see it happening because the Niners they got injuries too. So I think Seattle's going to win tonight. But you may never know.
Yeah. All right. Do you like watching football? Is that like your favorite sport to keep up with?
Football, I'll mostly watch like Major League Baseball and then some NBA basketball too.
Okay. Where are you guys based out of?
We are in Wausau, Wisconsin. Okay. So if most people have a pretty good idea of where Madison is. So we would be about a 2-hour drive straight north. And for the visual learners, basically, if you draw a line from Green Bay to the Twin Cities, we're basically smack dab in the middle on that line.
Okay. Okay. So it makes sense then that you're a Green Bay fan. Kind of, has that been a born and raised kind of thing? You're a cheesehead?
Always.
Do you have a cheesehead?
No, I do not, frankly. Nope.
That's okay. That's all right. Well, Lance, as we get ready to kind of wrap up the conversation, what is, I don't know, it feels like you and Kyle have been working together for at least the last 2 years in this adaptive CrossFit thing. What's one thing that you've been able to do because of Kyle being there with you?
What is the one thing?
Yeah. What's one thing that you were able to do that you're like, I don't know if I could have done that, but Kyle was there and you two together were able to do it.
Oh man. Just, you know, I would say just be myself, and just, just be smart about it and just give it your all.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Kyle kind of taught you those things and kind of put them in you for the CrossFit.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, it's paid off. You've got 2 first place finishes in the last 2 years, looking to defend again this year. Did you get first in 23 as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And that was only I won. That was not the in-person.
Yeah.
But that was just the online for the games,
right.
Unfortunately.
But you still got to go to Madison and receive a medal, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
That was a good feeling.
Yeah, be on the floor with all the elite athletes and everybody. Wow. Yeah. Kyle, did you go to that too?
Yes, I did. Nice. I was the main chauffeur and planner of that trip down to Madison.
Yeah.
So it was a great time.
That's awesome. Well, Kyle, a question for you as the older brother. I've had my privilege in life has been being an older brother and a younger brother. So I've kind of been stuck in the middle at times. But as the older brother, what has this journey been like for you? And if there's someone listening who maybe has a sibling or a family member like Lance that they would want to partner with to do something really amazing like you guys have done, what would you tell them to encourage them?
I would say, firstly, with getting to do this with Lance, it has been an amazing opportunity to work on my own leadership skills because I am naturally introverted. So normally I just like to do my work and be quiet about it and just let the work speak for itself.
Yeah.
And then the message that I would give to anybody that has, family, friends that would be in a position where they could partner with help is reach out, bring them along. The first time, typically, for an autistic athlete is not going to be perfect, and it takes patience. But just keep showing up and doing it. Mm-hmm. That would be the message that I would deliver, because more likely than not, the message that I would say is most important is an athlete like Lance is a direct reflection of the environment that he is around. So I know Lance's performance is a reflection of not only myself, but our gym community at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like that you drew that out, because I think I couldn't find the words for that, and you just put the words on it. When I look at Lance, I see how loved his community is, how loved he is by his community, right? How much people care for him, have infused you, Lance, with joy, with excitement, with you're so extroverted. I mean, you just want to, you want to meet everybody. You want to talk to everybody. And I think that's who you are, but that's also who your community has encouraged you to be. So to you, Kyle, just thanks so much for who you've been, for who you are, and who I got to see you as at the games, you know, when you introduced me to Lance, and then when we got to talk, and ultimately to setting this up for us to be able to have a conversation. Lance, you're the first ID athlete I've had on the podcast. So getting the opportunity to tell your story and have you on here has just been wonderful.
Thank you, man. That really means a lot. Yeah, I couldn't be happier to have a podcast with you, man.
Yeah, dude, I'm so glad you're a part of the community. I'm so glad we get to see you again in San Jose. I'm not going to be competing, but I'll be bringing the podcast on the road. So maybe you'll get a second chance to be on the podcast in San Jose after you kick ass on a workout. We can ask you all about it.
Oh, looking forward to it.
Awesome. Guys, I'm so glad we got the time to talk today. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Matt.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Matt.
Thanks so much for joining us for this episode. Kyle said something in this episode that I keep coming back to. Quote, "An athlete like Lance is a direct reflection of the environment he is around." And when you watch Lance compete, the way he shakes off a no rep and keeps moving, the way he finished that final workout this past year at full effort, even when he had a commanding lead, you see exactly what that environment has built. Now, Lance is the first ID athlete that I've had on this podcast, and I hope it's the first of many. If you know someone, an athlete, a parent, a coach, who would benefit from hearing this conversation, share it with them. If you have a family member who might want to compete, Kyle's advice is simple. Bring them along. Expect the first time to be imperfect and just keep showing up. We're only a few days out from the CrossFit Open, so if you know an adaptive athlete that you've been thinking about asking to sign up for the Open, now's the time to do it. Help them get classified at wheelwad.com and help them sign up on Competition Corner. And while you're at it, subscribe to the podcast, leave us a review, and tell somebody about these conversations. I'm Matt Hotho, and I'll see you next time.